In his later years, scriptures tell us that David found warmth in the embrace of the kingdom of Israel's most radiant young maiden, Abishag. Yet the nature of David and Abishag's bond remains shrouded in mystery. While the Bible notes they never became intimate, Abishag's name surfaced in a conspiracy following David's demise. This intrigue led Solomon to command the execution of his half-brother Adonijah, who aspired to wed her. This has sparked discussions among scholars about Abishag's true role beside David. Was she merely a caretaker for the elderly monarch? Or perhaps a secondary spousey or concubine who, for reasons unknown, never shared a physical relationship with David? Furthermore, could Abishag be the enchantress who captivated Solomon, referenced in his Song of Songs? And was it this infatuation that made Solomon view his half-brother's affection for her as unacceptable? We'll delve into these questions as we proceed. While Abishag, the Shunammite, is remembered for attending to an aging David, her tale is chronicled in the initial segments of the first book of Kings. The etymology of Abishag remains debated, though some theorize it translates to "my father wanders." The scriptures offer limited insights into Abishag's life. She emerges in the narrative surrounding Adonijah's demise, one of David's offspring. The Bible portrays Abishag as a pristine maiden from Shunem, situated near the Sea of Galilee and Mount Gilboa within Issachar's domain. Some ancient texts suggest that Shunammite and Shulamite might be interchangeable, both denoting a Shunem native. This has led a few to speculate if Abishag is the Shulamite alluded to in Solomon's poetic Song of Songs. Yet this theory lacks concrete evidence and isn't widely accepted. Thus, the romantic notion of Solomon's affection for Abishag, hinted at in the Song of Songs, remains speculative. What's indisputable, however, is Abishag's beauty. As David's vitality waned, he struggled to stay warm. Despite being swathed in layers, the cold persisted. His aides then sought a young maiden from the realm to comfort the king. Abishag was chosen for this role, not only attending to David but also witnessing pivotal moments, like when Bathsheba, the queen mother, reminded David of his vow to crown Solomon as Israel's next king. Subsequently, scriptures reveal that after King David passed away, Adonijah, another of David's sons, approached Bathsheba. He sought her advocacy with Solomon to grant him Abishag as his bride. The backdrop of this request was fraught with tension. Earlier, there was a vast plot to position Adonijah as David's heir. Yet, when Solomon was formally crowned king succeeding David, Adonijah implored for mercy, and Solomon, in his grace, pardoned his half-brother. However, Adonijah's later plea for Abishag was seen by King Solomon as a veiled attempt to usurp the Israeli throne. Historically, in the ancient Near East, marrying a woman from a monarch's harem was tantamount to staking a claim to the crown. Hence, Solomon interpreted Adonijah's aspirations for Abishag as a direct affront to his kingship. Acting swiftly, Solomon decreed Adonijah's demise, as chronicled in the first book of Kings, chapter 2. This narrative prompts a pressing query. Was Abishag truly wedded to David? Scholars are divided on Abishag's precise status alongside David. Some opine she was akin to a concubine or spouse. Others contend she was primarily David's aide, tasked with tending to the aging monarch, akin to a nurse, without necessarily being his consort. This discourse is intricate due to two pivotal aspects. First, scripture underscores that David did not know her concerning Abishag, implying they never shared intimacy. This might lean towards the notion she wasn't his consort. Yet, it's not beyond dispute to infer Abishag might have been wedded to David. It's conceivable she never joined David's circle of consorts. Conversely, the manner in which Abishag's narrative intertwines with Adonijah's fate hints that, in the kingdom's perception, Abishag was perceived as David's consort or concubine, even if their bond remained unconsummated. So why does this interpretation seem more plausible? When Bathsheba relayed Adonijah's wish to wed Abishag to Solomon, his retort to her was telling. Why seek Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? Might as well ask for the kingdom for him since he's my elder sibling, and also for Abiathar the priest and Joab, Zeruiah's son. Solomon, invoking the Lord's name, declared, God shall punish me if Adonijah hasn't jeopardized his life with this request. By the Lord who has crowned me, succeeding David my father and fulfilling his promise of establishing my lineage, Adonijah shall meet his end today. It's evident that Solomon viewed Adonijah's desire to marry Abishag as a direct challenge to his Israeli throne. Historically, as noted, a man wedding a woman from a monarch's harem was often seen as staking a claim to the crown. For instance, during Absalom's uprising, scriptures recount him being intimate with David's consorts, a blatant power move and claim to Jerusalem's throne. This backdrop makes Solomon's interpretation of Adonijah's intent clear. He saw it as a veiled coup against his rule. Solomon's intense reaction suggests that Abishag was more than just David's attendant or nurse. Given these insights, the consensus among scholars is that Abishag was perceived as David's wife or concubine within the Israeli kingdom, even if their relationship remained platonic. Friends, the story of Abishag has deeply resonated with many of us today. If you felt that connection, I invite you to continue this journey by pressing subscribe. And if you believe in spreading these divine lessons, kindly give us a like. Let's walk this path of discovery together. God bless you all.